Oh, goodness. What the heck? Okay, I just need 1 second. I'm just trying to pull up my training agenda. Um, and- hmm, okay. Okay, need to. uh,
Hi, everybody.
I'm just from our training agenda, Jules.
Is that the one in the calendar invite?
Oh, did you put it in the calendar invite?
Yeah, I think I did,
Figure
or
that.
someone did.
You did.
There's a, okay, perfect.
Okay. If I can open it. Okay. 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 Shut this and get out this. And then I need to. Okay. 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 Here's my Zoom. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to get all my screens right here because I have like 3 screens and it's okay. I'm ready. Okay. Get this. Let me get this. I'm just trying to get my. There we go. Good grief. Okay. Okay. Now I'm ready. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm finally ready. Okay. Alrighty. So, if you guys want to have your PGP training outline up in front of you, you can. If not, that's fine. I'll walk you through it. Let's see. I'm getting into P2P now. Okay. So I met Wendy earlier. If Parker, can you do just like a quick little intro, who you are, what your position is, and then Carolina. Wendy, I don't believe you said what your position was.
I really don't know what it is right now. I think we're still trying to figure that out. I don't know how to make my camera work on this,
That's okay.
so it's kind of like, but right now I'm training with Debbie and doing some things over with her. So we
Okay.
don't have an exact title.
Okay. And then Parker.
Uh, I'm athletics ticketing as well as business operations. So some sort of joint responsibilities.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hi, my monitor's broken, so I'm gonna be turning off my camera after this. Just
No
wanted to
problem.
say I'm just the administrative assistant here within athletics, so I've done a couple travel stuff, but nothing with P2P, so pretty new to this.
Okay. Okay. Well, nice to meet you guys. I know that I'm Bianca. I'm Assistant Director of Procurement. I was gone from procurement for a few months in payment services, but I've recently returned. So I helped implement P2P on this campus. I'm kind of like the P2P czar, if you will. So I know you guys are going through a lot of change over in athletics. We are here to support you. We are going to be here every step of the way with you guys with P2P. So please know that if you guys have any questions, need any help, like we are here to help you. Okay. Like we will not let you drown. We will not let you fall. Julie and I will be here to help you and support you. Okay. Just know that. And then Julie, do you want to do a quick little intro?
Sure. Hi, I'm Julie Jones. I'm a contracts analyst in the procurement department, and I've also been helping Bianca and Marina implement the P2P program. So I've been there with Bianca every step of the way. Some of the beginning I wasn't part of, but some of the beginning I was part of before she came on as well. And then when she was gone, I was still there. So, but we're here. We know so much that we've learned throughout the time that since we've been trained, we've kind of trained ourselves more than what we were trained. So we've become kind of like the experts of P2P, especially in our campus and being one of the first 4 campuses that have gone into this program. We've learned things from some of the other campuses to help us become more acquainted with the program. So if there's anything that you need help with, that you get stuck on, that you may have run into an issue, we can definitely meet with you. Um, a lot of times the same day. It's better if you do send an email to the CSU by group, just so that way if one of us is not available, a lot of the procurement department is part of that group as well. And a lot of them do know the answers already to some of the questions that you may have. But we are also the ones in that procurement group that will reach out to the chancellor's office if there's something that we don't know. So hopefully you won't need to pick anyone else's brain, but if you do, we've been in this program since May, I believe. And so a little over half a year, but we've come a long way. So we're happy to help and hope this training is beneficial. And I'm sure once you start getting into the swing of things, each order may be a little bit different. So you may have questions along the way, and that's okay. So feel free to reach out. We're happy to help. No question's a dumb question. And that's pretty much it. So thank you so much. It's nice to meet all of you.
Julie, I have to run and get a shipment real quick. So can you just quickly show them how to get into P2P and I'll be right back.
Sure. Okay. So there's multiple ways that you can get into P2P. I'll share my screen just so I can show you as I'm going through. Feel free to take your own notes if you like. What I usually do, if you could see, do you see the screen that has like the internet browser right now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I usually just go into an internet browser and I just type in CSUB-P2P, which brings up this as the first option. And it's our procure to pay website that we've created. And so at the very top is a link to the P2P system. So that's one way of getting into P2P. You'll know you're in P2P because the screen ribbon is black compared to Marketplace, where it looks very similar but it's red instead of black. And in Marketplace is where you'll do credit card purchases for punch out suppliers, which punch out suppliers are also listed here on the P2P website. So you can place orders with the punch out suppliers in P2P without your credit card, but if you want to do it with a credit card, then you'll do it on the marketplace. So the next place you can find how to get to P2P is if you go to our CSUB homepage. Let's see, CSUB. I'm just going to type it in. So here, when you're at the CSUB page, you can go to the faculty and staff section. And then under these quick links, I click on more quick links. And then I'll scroll down to this, the one that says P2P and CSU BY in parentheses. And that also will take you directly to this page. So those are the two places that I'm aware of on how to get here. And one of the other things that I think we have on the list to go through later is this page, P2P, that black ribbon, and the other one, the red ribbon, Marketplace, they can't be open on the same browser. So I can't come here and look for Marketplace, which I think Marketplace is also, here's Marketplace. So I can't open up Marketplace and the other P2P on the same browser. So I don't know why it's showing it open on the same browser, but I think that it causes a problem. Let's see. So here's the Marketplace. How's it letting me open this, Bianca?
Yeah, that's weird. It shouldn't let you
I have
open
them.
both at the same time.
Yeah, usually it does not. So I don't know if it will cause a problem if I keep using it. It is open on both screens right now, on one browser, two different tabs. But usually you have to open it in a different browser, which would be like this browser is, what is this? Edge. So it'd be like Firefox or one of the other browsers that you would open up the two different pages on. Okay, now that you're back, Bianca,
Mhm.
did you want to go over the next thing on your list?
Yes.
Oh, I kind of went through it, the difference between Marketplace and P2P.
Yeah.
Okay.
Share screen.
Okay.
Go ahead and stop sharing it now. Okay. Let me see. Okay. Are you seeing my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. For some reason, it is letting me open both on the same browser. But for just best practice, don't do that. It should not let you open both, but of course, Murphy's Law. It is letting us do it in this training scenario. But most of the time when we try to open P2P and Marketplace, it will open the black ribbon. But it is opening both in the same right now.
Mm-mm.
But for this, go ahead.
So yeah, when you start doing, I'm sorry to interrupt. But yeah, what I did is I went to one of these browsers and I started trying to do something with it, and then it stopped working.
Okay.
So like if you click on my purchase orders or click on anything, it should say system has encountered an error.
Okay.
So it's looking like it's letting you, but once you try to do something, it'll cause a problem.
Okay. Let me explain why you can't really open both in the same browser. As you can see, P2P is the one with the black ribbon. Marketplace is the one with the red ribbon. As you can see, they're both very similar operating systems, but they're different. So P2P is the black ribbon, and we will be training in this system today. Marketplace is the red ribbon, and this is the one that was launched first. So I'll explain the difference between the two. Marketplace was launched first, and this is called the P card marketplace. Can you guys tell me who of you have P cards, or just raise your hand or just come off mute and tell me who of you have Pro cards? Parker does.
We all do.
Perfect. Okay. So this is known as the P card marketplace. So the red strip is used only for Pro card. Okay. So as you can see, these have the punch outs. So Amazon, Staples, Fastenal, all of these things. So this is basically, we call it a punch out because you basically punch out to an external website. Like on Amazon, you'll punch out to Amazon's website, you'll put your items in a cart, and then you'll come back into the marketplace. And you'll use your Pro card as a form of payment. This is what this is used for. Okay. So this is for Pro card only. Do you have any questions on that? No? Okay, so we've all used this system and we're familiar with it, yes?
I've used it a couple of times. It's still kind of tricky, but
Okay,
I tried to use it a long time ago, but I couldn't figure out how to use the Pro card during my checkout process.
okay. I will go through that later. I just want you to know the difference between Marketplace and P2P right now. So at this point, we know that the red is for Pro card. That's what I need confirmation on. Yes? Yes?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna move on. Okay, so the black P2P is for, this is not for Pro card. So P2P, we're basically going to do an order. Once we do an order, it's going to create a purchase order and send that to the vendor. The vendor will then send an invoice, and then payment services will then pay that invoice. That's how this system works. That is the difference between P card, Pro card marketplace, red, and P2P, black. It's requisition, purchase order, invoice. That is the difference. Do we have questions on that before I continue? So I want you to see that there are punch outs in here still. So you can use punch outs in here, but they will be paid via invoice, not Pro card. So you can choose whether you want to use punch outs and pay with a Pro card using red marketplace or P2P with an invoice. There's two different ways of doing it. P2P is mainly used for requisitions, like for goods and services. You can do a direct pay in here. If you need to order like a computer, you would do an IT hardware request. If you need to order software, you would do an IT software request. Hospitality, this would be like if you're having catering, like hotels come on campus, different stuff like that. So I'll go into this more in further detail, but that's the difference between marketplace and P2P. Questions before I move on?
Nope.
Go ahead.
No, I said I don't have any.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. And feel free if you want to drop them in the chat too. Julie will help me monitor the chat if you feel more comfortable doing it that way. Okay. So we've learned the difference between P2P and marketplace. Now we're going to go over like just a brief overview of the shopping dashboard. Okay. So here we have just a basic organization message. So we use this to kind of let campus customers, we call you guys campus customers, just for the record, you'll hear me say it a lot. We use this to just let you know of any important like information that you guys need to know. So this is just saying effective October 1st, punch out catalogs will no longer be available in P2P. And that use the browser below to use the marketplace for pro card purchases. And that you can access it here. So this is the link to the marketplace, and that we have open labs. So after this training 1 and 2, if you guys have questions, you can go into the open labs. We have one every Tuesday from 9 to 10. So open labs are really great. It's a forum for you guys to answer questions with Julie and myself, like we're doing right now, to be like, hey, I need help doing a direct pay requisition, or my requisition's stuck and I need help. It's a Zoom session where we're working with you guys one-on-one. You can share your screen or we can share our screen and just help work through problems that you guys are having in real time. It's kind of like office hours that professors have. Same idea, where we can help you. There's your profile up here. This tells you what's in your shopping cart. This is your actual like shopping here. This shows all of your requisitions, purchase orders, change requests. We'll go into this in further detail. Suppliers here. We'll go into all of this stuff in way further detail. I'm just kind of giving you a general overview right now. Quick links on the side. This is very helpful. This will take you directly to all of your requisitions, directly to all of your purchase orders, request a new supplier, search for a supplier. Down here, this will give you all of your approvals. This is the same shortcuts that were up here. These are all of the different requisition forms that I went over earlier. These are all of the punch outs, same as the marketplace. Julie, anything else you want to add before I move on?
No, I think the only thing I would add is if you go to your home screen here with the house button.
Here.
Yes. Oh, it turned red.
Let me go back.
Because we probably had it on the same browser.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's why you don't open two in the same browser. We were just testing you.
Okay. So when you click on that home button, yes. So, oh, I don't know why. I thought there was multiple dashboards. Did it click on the home button?
I clicked
Or
on
is it
home.
still on the shopping? Oh, okay. Never mind. There's maybe a different view that I might have where it shows different pages besides the shopping homepage. Dashboards. So why do I have a dashboards thing? Do you have a thing that says dashboards?
Mm-mm.
Oh. Okay, maybe that's just a buyer thing then. Never mind.
Yeah, and sometimes Julie and I may have a different view of something. It's just because we have like buyer roles, we have elevated access than requesters do. So sometimes you may see things on our screen that may look a little different than your guys's. It's just because we have like an elevated role because we are campus admins and we are buyers. So just if you see things that look slightly off than yours, it's just because of that. So we do have a little bit elevated access than you guys do. Okay, so we are going to set a couple things with you guys now. So if you'd like to follow along as with me, feel free. So we are going to go to this little person's head. It's the user profile. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to go to view my profile. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check our default user settings. This was a big problem when we first rolled out P2P campus wide, but I still am just in the habit of checking everybody just because it's like it's a PTSD thing. So we're going to go to default user settings and we're going to go to custom field and accounting codes. Julie, do you still check this with everybody or no?
Yes, I usually do.
Okay.
With all the new people that I know are new.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're gonna go to this custom field and accounting codes. And then Julie, if you just want to annotate for me, that would be
Sure.
perfect. Thank you. Okay. And then we're gonna go to this codes tab here. Okay, that should not be there, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so this here, how it says BKCMP, we want to click on this. And then we want to click on this, correct, Julie?
Yes, the bold letters.
Yes.
Mhm.
And if any of you guys have this, please make sure you're following along with me to remove this. Does anybody have what I have right now? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so please make sure you're doing this with me because this is bad. Okay, so we want to see how this default is check marked. Let's uncheck it and let's hit save. Okay. Basically, we don't want any business unit checked because if you're trying to order under like foundation or spa or ASI, it won't let you. It's always going to think you're stuck under BKCMP. So we don't want any defaults here. So let's get rid of that and let's make sure this looks the same as mine. And we're good. Okay. Okay, we're gonna move on to set ship to and deliver and bill to. So next up, we're gonna go to default addresses. Okay. All right, so mine is already set, but I'll just go ahead and walk you through this. So we're gonna go select at, so we're on the ship to tab here. And we're gonna go to select addresses for profile. Okay. This is just saving you a step so you don't have to select it every time when you're checking out. Okay. So we're gonna select address template. We're gonna click this drop down and we're gonna select CSU Bakersfield campus receiving. So it's gonna show me, it's gonna show CSU campus receiving, all that good stuff. If we were at AV, we would select the AV campus, but we're not, we're at Bakersfield. And it's showing here and we're gonna click save. Mine was already there, so it's showing me I have a duplicate address name. I'm just showing you for the sake of the steps to follow. Okay. Now we're going to go to that Bill to tab. Okay. Same thing. Select addresses for profile. Click from the drop down. It's only going to give me one option, CSU Bakersfield. And we're going to click that save button. Okay. All right. So we have our ship to, our bill to selected, and we're going to move on to shopping personas. Okay. So we're going to go back to this little user guide. And this is very important. So before you start shopping, you have to select which business unit, in P2P it's called a persona, that you are shopping from before you start shopping. You can switch it in between. Like if you started shopping and you're like, oh gosh, I forgot that I needed to select my shopping persona. You can do it mid requisition, but it starts to mess things up. So always get in the habit of before you start shopping to select your shopping persona, okay? So you're gonna go to the user and you're gonna click this change shopping persona. And this is big for athletics because I know that you guys do order for different business units. So you guys will do orders under foundation, you will do orders under ASI. So make a habit of doing this. Okay, so you're going to go to change shopping persona, and then all of the business units will show up. Okay, so all you have to do is just simply select which one that you're choosing from. So I know that this looks a little different to you. The only thing that has changed in P2P is they put an X in the middle. So instead of BKFDN, it's BKXDN. Instead of BKCMP, it's BKXMP. So that's the only difference is they put an X in the middle. It's a little weird, but you'll get used to it. Okay. So I'm going to start shopping for foundation. So I'm going to select BKXDN. So then you'll see up here that it shows that I'm shopping under BKXDN. So whenever you come into Open Lab, Julie and I will be like, the first thing we'll say is, wait, you don't have your shopping persona set. That's like the first thing that Julie and I look at is to make sure you have your shopping persona set. Cause we're like just prone to looking at that. First thing is like, your shopping persona is not set, guys. So we will look at that and be like, hold on, your shopping persona, you have to set it. So just get into the habit of hearing that from us. So just make a note or something on your computer, like shopping persona first thing before you start shopping. Okay, any questions on shopping personas? I'm good? Okay. Okay. So external punch outs. How many of you guys
Sorry to bug you.
There-
Can you pick up the diplomas?
there are benefits to doing requisitions like punch outs through P2P. One, you don't have to do a pro card reconciliation because in P2P, the workflow is built in for you. So this is kind of be up to Susan on how she wants you to do it. I think that it's better to do punch outs in P2P because it's going to go through workflow. Like you're going to do the request, then it's going to go through your DOA to approve, and then it's done, right? The only downside to this is that with Amazon in P2P, your Amazon orders have to go through that workflow. So you're going to do the request, then it's going to go to Susan for approval. The workflow has to be complete only for Amazon within 7 days. If it doesn't get approved, then your order will be canceled. So I recommend doing P2P because then you don't have to do that whole pro card reconciliation. But this is an internal department decision. I can't tell you which one to do. That will be something that you will have to discuss with Susan and Kyle, which one you want to do. But I think that P2P is easier. Like you go in, you check out, you'd put it back in, you'd put in your chart fields, and it's done. She approves it. As long as she approves it within the 7 days, you're good. Staples, there is no time limit. She just approves it and it's good to go. So I'm just saying for the sake of the transitions and changes within your department, I would recommend P2P because there's going to be less paperwork on the back end of your pro card reconciliation. I understand you're still going to have to be using pro card for other external websites, but I'm just thinking for the sake of all these changes in your department, it may be better for you to use P2P at this time. Julie, is there anything you'd like to add?
I think you pretty much covered it. You pretty much covered it all. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to cover. As far as punch outs and going into marketplace instead of P2P.
Okay. That's just my 2 cents. You guys can talk about this amongst yourself. If you have any questions for me right now before I demonstrate it for you, feel free to ask. Do you want to see it and then ask me questions?
I mean, if you're talking about doing this process for like basic supplies that we need.
Yeah.
What are we doing? We're creating a PO with just whatever our budgeted amount is for office supplies or whatever, and we're eating into that as we go.
Let me show you what it looks like. And then I think it'll help you understand. Okay. So hold on. Let me get back. Okay, are you seeing my P2P right now?
Mhm.
Okay. So say I need to do an Amazon order, Parker. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go to Amazon, right? Are you seeing Amazon? Because sometimes it stops sharing when I go out to Amazon. Are you seeing Amazon?
Yes.
Okay. So say I need to order, give me an item you need to order.
Rubber bands.
Okay. I'm ordering some rubber bands. Okay. I'm gonna add this to my cart. Okay, I have it in my cart. Okay. So now I'm gonna proceed to checkout. It's gonna take a second. It's thinking. Okay. So now I'm gonna not do anything on this page. Don't ever touch this page. You're gonna submit order for approval, and now it's gonna take you back into P2P. Okay.
Would you wouldn't do anything on that page, including shipping adjustments?
No, don't touch that page. Don't touch that page at all. Okay. Now I have my deliver to location already preset, which I will show you guys how to do. Okay. So just don't worry about that. I'll show you how to do that in a second. So the cool thing about P2P is I can name my cart. So see this right here? This is just random numbers. So it generates like a random number from a number wheel. This doesn't mean anything to you. So I recommend that you guys name your cart. So back out of this and name it, because the more orders that you start doing, you need to be able to reference what this is, right? So I would call this like, I'm ordering these rubber bands for ticketing, right? So like ticketing rubber bands. So that way you can go back and be like, oh, okay, this was for ticketing. I ordered rubber bands for them, right? Because like you need to start tying these orders to something because you're going to start doing a lot of orders. And when you go back, which Julie and I will show you later, like going back to your POs to start looking things up because this is all tied in together. You need to start naming your carts. Trust me, I'll show you this later. Okay. All right. So I have my item in my cart. It's one item. Commodity codes is another big thing when we're ordering from Amazon because Amazon does weird things with their codes. So I'm looking at this and this is saying general supplies. If for some reason this said something weird like industrial supplies or catering supplies, right? Like it didn't make sense with what the item actually was, I can go here and I can look and see like, okay, maybe I need to make this something more general. Because let me give you an example. We were doing an order for student health services. They ordered like a date rape drug detection kit and it's so it's like liquid, right? Like you dip the strip in the liquid and then it's like a test kit. It came up as a commodity code like catering because it was like it was like a beverage. So we had to change that code because your commodity codes are going to be tied to your accounting codes. You'll see that on the next step. So it's very important that you're looking at these commodity codes and making sure that they make sense to the item because these on the next step will trigger your account codes. I'll explain that in just a second, okay? If you have questions on that, ask. Does that make sense what I'm saying on the commodity codes?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we're good on this. I have my cart named. My deliver to location is set. I will show you how to set the deliver to location in just a second. So I'm ready to go. So now I'm gonna proceed to checkout. Okay. All right. So we have my ship to set. We have my bill to set. Okay. So this is all good. Now I'm going, it's asking me for a chart field. So I have to enter a chart field. Okay. So see how the account code, it already auto-populated to supplies and services for me because it pulled from the commodity code. So that's why it's really important to make sure your commodity codes make sense to the items because it will pull from this and make it this. Okay. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to enter my chart field. So we're going to go here, click that little pencil, and then we're going to start entering chart fields. So I'm under foundation right now because that's what my shopping persona is set to. So that's the option it's going to give me. Okay. Okay. What's a chart field you use under foundation?
Like wrestling or yeah, wrestling mostly.
Like this one?
Yeah. I mean, a purchase like this relates more to BKC and P, but we were already in foundation, but I use wrestling for
Okay. And then what depth ID would you use under that?
I don't have it memorized.
Okay. Let me see.
There might be one that's tagged as wrestling as well.
Wonder if I can use. I'm just trying to think of one that would take. Julie, can you look up a chart fill for me?
Can you type in wrestling in the description or like W
It's like D108
and then
20 or something. I don't know.
then just put West. Oh yeah, okay. Rest. Oh, I don't even know if that's spelled right, but okay.
It's probably not. Okay.
There it is.
But do you see how I could just type it in and search for it? And then it's pulling it up. So like if I didn't know, I could just search it. So I'm going to do that. And then my account code already populated based off my commodity code. So now I'm going to hit this to validate the chart field. And then hit save. Okay. So I have everything entered now. So this is what we call the workflow. So this is telling me everything that is going to happen after I hit submit. Okay. So it's going to go through validation. So validation just means it's checking everything. It's checking the chart field. It's checking the order. It's just a bot. It's a bot within P2P that kind of just runs and it checks everything. Okay. Then it's going to go to DOA approval. So right now it's going to go to Cindy because Cindy is still here. So what I'm telling Debbie to do is I'm telling Cindy to work on getting Susan into DOA because Susan is basically taking over for Cindy. So Wendy, that's what Debbie and I were working on earlier in her office, was getting all that paperwork, getting all that situated. That's what that conversation was earlier.
Okay.
So once it goes through validation and the bot checks it, then it's going to go to Cindy. Cindy has to approve it. The only caveat with Amazon that I was talking about earlier is this whole approval process has to happen within 7 days of you hitting submit request. If this approval chain does not happen within 7 days, your order will cancel. So say you were using like split chart fields and you had it going to like multiple DOAs or whatever, all the DOAs would have to approve it within 7 days, is what I was trying to explain. So that's basically an Amazon punch out through P2P. Do we have questions?
So this process is a little bit different than the other process that, because I'm involved in recently I don't know what the proper term is, a purchase order or requisition. We set up like $25,000 to be set aside for like ticket credit card related fees. And so, we're applying different invoices to that as we go month by month. So that's what I meant when I had
Mm.
before we started that example process of, eating into a blanket amount. That's what I meant there.
Yeah, you have
This
blanket
is,
POs.
yeah, this is different. Okay.
So Julie, you want to talk about blanket POs and how those work in P2P?
Sure. Let me see if I can look up an example because what the Amazon order is that she showed you is for a single transaction. But a blanket order would be something that you have a PO open for that you're going to keep using over and over again. It could be the same things, it could be different things that you're ordering, but it's a blanket amount like that 25,000 that you were talking about.
No, I'm sorry to interrupt. Two questions regarding this, and this is like,
Sure.
I've done a little bit of walking through with Deb. One, can a blanket PEO be changed, like the main contact on that? Because like Deb did it, but obviously
Mhm.
she's leaving, but I'm like the main contact that's dealing with it moving forward. So
Yes.
changing the contact. It's for Elevon.
Okay.
And then I have a
Elevon.
second question too, is there was a couple of vouchers, i.e. invoices against a blanket PO, but when I was looking at the details of like the check amount that was paid, it was like it didn't match up with the individual invoices. There was like a $600 something amount and like an $84 amount, but the check was for like $900 something on the what I was looking at. So I didn't know why there was a different amount in that particular spot.
That's a good question. I have, is it Elevon that you're talking about?
Yeah, the Elevon one that's under
Okay.
Deb right now.
Okay, so this is one of the Elevons. I'm not sure since it's 25,000. I thought maybe this might be the one you're referring to. I have my screen sharing. Are you able to see it?
Yeah, and so
Okay.
I was in that looking around because I had another invoice to send to Deb to put towards that. So
Okay.
I clicked into one. Actually, I clicked into both of the vouchers, and it
Okay.
took me in there, and it showed me each amount individually. See how those
Mhm.
two amounts
Mm-hmm.
add up to 600, 700 something dollars. But if
Yeah.
you go into one of them, um, you'll see like a payout amount of like 900 something dollars, bottom right.
Oh, I see right here. So Bianca, are you familiar with what this is referring to since you had some time in accounts payable?
Okay, let me look. I have to
Because
look at it.
I think, but I don't know for sure, that this total payment amount is like what the company has received total based on any POs, but I'm not sure.
So this
So
is
that's
the
why I want to ask you.
individual voucher payment amount, and this is the
Mhm.
total payment they've received overall on that blanket.
On this blanket period, not on other orders, right? On this specific blanket.
Let me look it up on my side. Hold on.
Because that makes sense. What he's saying is that number doesn't add up if that's true. If that's true.
241916.
But it does show right here so that this is what has been invoiced, 689.36, and this is what's still remaining,
So I see one
24.
voucher. I see one voucher on it that's 83.99 and then
Mhm.
605.37. Yeah.
Yeah, and I never did know what this meant, and so I did want to know that too. See how it says total payment amount is 993.28.
Mhm.
What is that supposed to mean? Like what this company has gotten since they've been working with our campus? Because this amount doesn't add up to what they've already spent on this specific purchase order.
Right.
I can,
605.
When I looked up Elevon, there was like one other approved Elevon purchase order, and then like
yeah,
one that was like canceled or something.
83.99.
Elevon.
83.99.
I'm spelling it wrong. Avon.
ELAVON.
Okay. Okay, so when I do that, here's all the purchase orders that have been issued to Elevon.
Mm.
and they go back all the way from July to October. I'm pretty sure there's been more than 900
No,
if
yeah,
you
it's
probably
not,
look at all this.
it's not the total.
hmm
1,200.
Sorry to set us off track, but I just had to, saw this the other day.
I'm looking. One. Okay, now you have me curious.
I thought maybe it
Yes.
was like fees or something, like when you didn't like net 30, net 6, or whatever, when you get paid, have to pay fees, and when you don't make the deadlines for the
Mm-mm. Mm.
Yeah, I was actually wondering that same thing, but I had never got a chance to ask about it because since I never got a chance to work in accounts payable in this system, I wasn't sure what everyone in this system is pretty much new here at our campus to using this system. So some of this information wasn't explained clearly to us as far as like what this is. So like I was saying earlier, Bianca and I have kind of been figuring things out as we go for a lot of the stuff that
Mhm.
we weren't explained what that's for.
And obviously, I was looking at it, I'm like, why are we overpaying them? That sort of thing.
Oh,
Right.
no, yeah, I totally understand. Okay, so
I'm gonna stop sharing for a second and I'm just gonna look um, in a different financial system just to see if there's any kind of logic to that question. It's a good question, or if maybe we can come back to that question.
Yeah, no hurry. I mean, and I don't know if
Okay.
voucher is another word for like check or payment or something like that.
hmm
we correlate voucher with invoice. Like voucher is the same term as invoice
Okay.
on this campus. But I will get the answer for you. And because now you have me
No worries. Yeah.
trying to figure it out too. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
now you have
Because,
me curious.
yeah, I'm curious, like, is the check 993 because it included multiple payments, or what is this 993 actually specific to? That
Yeah,
not, yeah, okay.
we will get you the answer. I promise.
Thank you for asking.
Okay. Do we have any further questions on Amazon before I move on?
Oh, and so let's say that will it always auto-populate the account number with the commodity code? And if I saw a little field there for like override if you don't think it
Oh,
matches correctly.
yes. So let me go back there.
I'm gonna open up the web page of where you can find commodity codes
Yeah, go ahead.
and what account numbers they correlate to. So I'll just share my screen with you while Bianca's looking for whatever she needs to help correlate, like go along with this question that you have. So here on that P2P webpage that I had told you about, like where I go to find it, CSUB space P2P. On the left-hand side, it says commodity code and COA training. So if you click on that, here's a short video if you'd like to watch it. But basically, here's the list of available commodity codes. And if you click on there, you're welcome to review anything that you want on these web pages. But these are the commodity codes. And here on column D column E is the commodity code numbers, and column L would be the account number for our campus. So you'll see a couple of different colors here on the right-hand side, but each color is for a different campus. So ours is the blue one. So if it automatically comes up with professional services, 16008, then the account number that will populate is 613001. But if you don't want that account number and you want testing services, it would be better to change the commodity code to 160010 so it can give you this account number 660935. But if for some reason you can't find your account number here at all that you really want to use, then you would put it in that account override space in P2P. But if the account number is in here, it's much better to change the commodity code so it automatically goes to this account number that you really wanted to use.
Okay.
Okay, good. And I'll stop sharing so Bianca can further explain if needed.
I just wanted to say that account overrides, we do want to be careful about using them because they do go to the respective directors of accounting to approve them. So whenever you do an account override, you're adding an additional layer of approval to your workflow. So like, let me get back to where I was. Hold on. Share screen. Share my screen. Okay. So if I were to say, yeah, I don't want to use this for supplies and services, and I wanted to
I think we
throw
might
in
be seeing the wrong screen.
what?
I see the training outline.
Oh, dang it. Hold on.
Okay,
Sorry.
no problem.
Share this screen. Share. Okay. So let me start over. Okay. So say that I was like, I don't want to use this supplies and services. I want to override. I have the ability to do that. So I can do this. So there is that account override ability. I can do that and I can click this search and pick anything I want, you know. So I can search a description, I can do whatever. So I'm just going to pick a random one for the sake of time. I'll just pick whatever, this. Okay, so I'm going to save it. So now you're going to see that here, it's now added a step. So now it's going to validation, DOA approval, and accounting review. So it's adding an additional workflow step to my workflow. So whenever you see this, and we'll go over this more in like our second session, you'll see that it's going to all of these people. So you're like, oh my gosh, now it's having to go to 4 people? No. Basically what this is it's going to a shared bucket. So this is going to all the directors of accounting. And since this is under foundation, Jessica, since she's the director of accounting for foundation, she knows that she has to pull this and approve it. So people, when they go into shared workflows, people know who has to take what and approve it. So just be aware, like when you're doing account override, like you are adding a step, and just be careful with that because they can kick it back and say like, no, don't use this, and you did in a whole other extra step for nothing. So just be careful.
And so it's better on the previous step to change the commodity.
Correct. Yes. That's why I showed you that whole thing. Like make sure your commodity code correctly matches your item so that it's flowing to the correct account code. Because your commodity code triggers your account code. Yes. Ding ding. Yep. Any other? Yeah, and Amazon is really wonky with commodity codes. They do really weird codes, so it's good to make sure you're correcting them beforehand. Any other questions on Amazon before we move on? No? Okay. So now, we're gonna go to, I'm just gonna get rid of this because I just like to. So I have this in my cart. I'm gonna get rid of it. So I'm just gonna trash it. And now my cart's to 0. So that's how you can quickly get rid of a cart. Okay, so we're gonna move on to supplier request. This is in a lot better state than it was before when we started with P2P. But your supplier has to be 1 in P2P and 2 active for shopping in P2P before you can submit a request. There's a couple different ways you can go about this. You can basically, Julie, how do you want to go about this? Do you want to go through the supplier view or do you want to go through like just start a goods and services request? Miss Julie.
Oh, sorry about that. Can
It's
you
okay.
repeat that question?
So for a supplier, do you want to go straight to the supplier like view, or do you want to start a goods and services request when like seeing if a supplier is actually active?
We could do the supplier one first.
So like just a quick search?
Yeah. This would be the best place that I would recommend doing a supplier search to see if your supplier's in here. Because when you use this box that says quick search, it chooses suppliers that are active and inactive.
Okay.
But if you don't use that box, it will most likely only choose active. And if there's a supplier in there that's inactive, that means they're still in your network and you don't have to start from the beginning of putting in a supplier request for them. We just have to figure out how to get them on our campus.
Okay.
So yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna use an example that came up earlier, and I can't remember if this was athletics or not. Okay, so you guys travel a lot, you use charter buses. So I'm gonna use this example. So somebody was like, I want to do a requisition for a charter bus. And for some reason it's not coming up in the system. So it was Airport Valley. Okay, so I went to these 3 groups of people. This is the supplier tab. And I'm just going to type in Airport Valley. Okay. So it came up and now it's coming up here. Okay. So, this is basically telling me that this X, that's not good. Normally, if a supplier is active, it comes up with a green check mark. Okay. So there's a couple things that I'm seeing here. Okay. So the X is not good. It means that they're not active for shopping. So, okay. It was last modified on November 1st, and the registration status is in progress. So they were solicited. Okay. So, okay, I'm seeing some things. So let's click on it. Okay. So they're not active for shopping, so I can't submit a requisition for them because they're not active. So they're in progress. So that means that they started their supplier registration, but they didn't finish it. So, Julie, can you go to the our supplier registration resources tab and pull up that QRG?
Sure.
So basically what happens is when you have a supplier that you want to invite to P2P, you have to request them. So you go here and you basically put in like the name of the supplier. So like Cal's Plumbing. Okay, that's the name of the supplier. Then it's gonna pull up this instructions. So it's gonna give you this big old disclaimer. Do not use this form to register CSU employees or students. Okay. So P2P is not a system for any CSU employees or students. So you cannot do anything in the system for a CSU employee or student. So it's going to give you that big old disclaimer. Okay. A CSU employee or student has to be reimbursed through a direct pay. Like it has to be outside of the system. That's very important to note. So if Cal's Plumbing is not a CSU employee or a student, then you're good to go and you can proceed. So you would click next. And then you're basically just going to fill this out. So doing business as or a DBA, this would be an example. So I think everybody knows about Paradise Balloons. Like it's a vendor that comes on campus and does all of our balloon arches and stuff. So the person's name is Laura Lee Bell. So that's the actual supplier name. Her name is Laura Lee Bell, but she does business as Paradise Balloons. So she gets paid as Laura Lee Bell, but her business name is Paradise Balloons. That would be the example. Okay. If you knew that, that's fine. You could enter that here. If you didn't know that, fine. Just put supplier name as Paradise Balloons. The chancellor's office is now vetting all of the suppliers. So they would catch that as they're looking at all of her documents and stuff. So don't worry about that. If you know it, good. If you don't worry about it. Just put in the information you know. Okay. So the supplier is doing business with Bakersfield. Just check that box. Do you need to use the supplier for a PO or invoice payment within 1 to 2 days? That's basically just asking like if you need to expedite the supplier onboarding. So you can click yes or no. Select the type of products and or services the service will provide. So are they providing a service remotely? Are they providing a service, labor, or installation on campus? Are they supplying are they going to provide goods or are they going to create custom goods or like branded products? So just pick one of the boxes. And then provide any additional details or services that the supplier will provide. Does the supplier have pre-existing personal relationship with an employee or are they a relative? Just answer yes or no to the best of your ability. And then you're just going to put the contact's first name, last name, and you have to have an email address. You have to have an email address for this supplier contact because what's going to happen is they're going to email the supplier registration to this supplier. So you have to have an email address. Okay. Will the transaction with the supplier need to distinguish between different divisions or departments? Answer yes or no. Anytime that there's a star, that means that the question is required. It will not let you move forward unless you answer it. So if you don't know the answer to this question, you don't have to answer it because there's not a star next to it. And then provide any names or addresses for additional supplier divisions. If you don't know, then don't answer it. Then you're gonna hit next. It's not gonna let me proceed because I'm not answering the
required.
I know, required. It's making me. I'm just gonna put in A.
Any question that has a star at the end
Yeah, it's
makes
gonna
it a
make me.
required.
I thought I answered all the required ones.
Yes or no, you gotta,
Oh,
that's
I see.
required.
Yes.
And then those boxes. Supplier will provide.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Next.
And there's another yes or no.
Where?
Scroll down a little bit. Right there. It's in red writing.
Oh, I see. Okay. See, it will not let you proceed until you answer all the required fields. Okay, and then it's just saying like, yes, this is my contact information. I'm requesting it, blah, 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 blah. Then I'm going to hit next. And then it's basically just saying like, I filled all this out. I'm certifying that it's correct and blah, 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 blah. I had to check that box and then I'm going to complete the request. That's how you request a supplier. Do we have any questions on that?
I also put the link to the supplier registration resources in the chat.
Perfect. So I just want to open this up with you guys real quick. Okay. So we have this website for supplier registration resources. Okay.
Are you sharing it on your screen?
Oh, dang it. I thought I was. I'm not.
No, not yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So are you seeing it?
Yes.
Okay. So we built this site for supplier registration resources. So there is a training video on what we basically just went over with you. This is what I just showed you on how to request a supplier in case you forget. I recommend that as soon as you send that supplier request that I just showed you on, that you basically like copy this, like the invitation comes from CSU by blah 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 blah. Like you copy this and you send it to that same email, because what happens is a lot of times the supplier thinks that this email is spam because the email comes from support@jagger.com. It doesn't come from a CSUB email. It doesn't come from a CSU email. It comes from support@jagger.com. So when they get this email, they're like, this is phishing. This looks sus. Like, so they don't open it. So if you basically like copy this and be like, hi, Victor at, Victor's Plumbing. I just sent you a supplier registration request. It's going to come from support@jagger.com. Please make sure you click it and fill it out. I need you to complete this to be in order to be able to like do business with CSUB. Then they're going to be like, oh, okay, this isn't phishing. I'm going to click on it and I'm going to fill it out and complete it. If you don't do that, more than likely your supplier is not going to click on this email and they're not going to fill it out. And then you're just going to be stuck and you're not going to be able to do any business with them in P2P. Does that make sense? That happened a lot at the beginning of P2P, and people were like, I can't get my supplier to enroll. And I was like, well, because they don't think that this email is valid. Like, start doing this. And then enrollment started to really go up after that. So I highly recommend, like, as soon as you send that email, just boom, copy this, boom, send them an email, and then you'll get registration to increase. I also wanted you to see, there is a QRG, which now I need to find it, that shows you all the different steps of the registration status. And I'll put that in the chat because there's like 5 different steps of registration status that it'll be helpful for you to know like what it is, like what the differences are, and be able to tell like what step your supplier is on. I'll look that up and I'll send it to you. Okay. Questions so far?
I mean, it seems like it can be a lengthy process because I'm going through that right now for audience view / university tickets, and we keep going back and forth and back and forth. Except it's 2 other people that are working with me, Crystal Jenkins and
Yep.
Ebling.
And Terry?
Like Diana Ebling or something like that.
Okay.
Those are the 2 people that are copied on this chain with audience view, and so we keep going back and forth trying to get it finally so we can process these invoices I have.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's somewhere within those 5 stages.
Yeah, it can be a daunting process to get suppliers in here. You just kind of have to be a little forceful with them and be like, look, if you want to get paid, you have to enroll in the system because this is the system we use. and you have to enroll, like nicely forceful, I guess is the word I'm trying to use, because this is the system we use. Like, if you want to get paid, you have to enroll. Like, I just try to be as nice as I can, but be like, hey, like, do you want to do business with us or not? Because this is what we use. Like, we're and preface it like this, like all 23 CSUs will be implementing this. So it's like, if you're a bigger company, all 23 CSUs will be using P2P by 2026. So I get like a little mom and pop shop not wanting to enroll, but like if you're like a bigger company, like you better do it or you're gonna lose us. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I
So
know.
that's why I think that search button that you showed them at first when you were going on to the summary page for
Yeah.
the suppliers that has
Yeah.
the three under that quick search. When you
Mhm.
did that search, um, it brought up all companies that are active and inactive. So sometimes there may be like
A
an
similar
active
company.
one.
Yeah.
Maybe there is an active one, but Fresno's using it and we're not.
Yeah,
Um,
Julie, if you want to show them
yeah.
that, go ahead. My voice is kind of tired.
Okay, sure. 1 second.
Need some water.
Allow. Yeah. Okay, so are you able to see my screen? Let me see. It's refreshing, I guess. Okay, so like here you went to suppliers and then which one was it that you looked up? Uh,
Airport valet.
Airport Valet.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where the status is that I was saying is all instead of active for shopping, not active for shopping, because there could be someone already requested it, right? So like, trying to see if I can give another example. This whole thing has like so many different search features, so it's hard to kind of give you all the information at once. Um, but here where it has those MBU IDs, there may be a supplier that is active, but this part, when you click on MBU IDs, it doesn't have any BKXMP. So that's when we can ask the company to get extended to our campus. They've already registered with Fresno State or whatever. Now they don't have to register all over again. We could just extend them to use on our campus. So here, let me see if I can find one that maybe another campus is using. Quick filters. Let me see. Tell me if you can think of anything.
Look up Belfour because that has 17 MBUs. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So here, yeah, this is where
yeah,
we were talking about.
yeah,
So
yeah.
here's our campus. Chico's using them. I think that's Chico. Yeah. I don't know who's, oh, the CO is
The
using them.
CO, yeah. Mhm.
Fresno, Slow. Not sure who SO is. I'm not sure what campus that is, but yeah. So if BKXMP wasn't on here, they could still be green, active for shopping, but
Mhm.
we won't be able to find them when we put in our requisition because our campus is not listed right here. So that's where I was trying to kind of like explain the difference because sometimes that is a common question that we have. Like
Mhm.
they come up active for shopping, but when
But
I
I
go to
can't
put
use
in my
them. Mhm.
requisition, they're not coming up. And this is why, this is how you know why. Um, to see if our campus is actually active for shopping with them. And if not, we could usually get them within a day to be extended for our campus to use. And another thing she didn't get a chance to explain is here on the left-hand side, there's a view history button. So if for some reason your person or company is not approved yet, you can look in this view history and see the most latest notes. And that'll help you understand like if there's a problem or they ask them to change something, they ask the supplier to change something, but they haven't changed it yet. You'll be able to see that note right here as well. So those are just a couple things that I wanted to add in, a couple tidbits for this. Any questions or other questions for supplier?
So, I mean, on this communication, like I'm just using this audience view one as an example. Going back and forth, like every time audience view says they do something, Crystal checks it, and then Crystal has to check with the office, the conference office, or sorry, the CSU office. And then they come back through Crystal, and then she comes back to us, and it's just like back and forth, ping pong. Like there's going to be stuff that shows in the system, but stuff that doesn't show in the system too, right?
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm-hmm.
example, the latest question on audience view was, hey, we're showing one address here and one address here. Which address is it? Why are there conflicting addresses? Right. And so that seems like maybe it's something that's outside of the stuff you might be able to see like in the history of this particular supplier.
Mm-hmm.
You can probably look it up right now and maybe
Okay.
see what I'm talking about. If
Yeah.
you type in audience, you'll find it. Yeah, that one right there.
Okay. Okay. So it's not active yet. And then we clicked on it and we'll look at the history.
Mm-hmm.
Review domestic versus foreign information provided.
Yeah, one address they provided is like the company audience view is in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada, and it acquired university tickets, which was in New York. And so they've got like two different addresses as part of this profile because it used to be university tickets, then that got acquired by
Mm-hmm.
Audience View, which is international,
Oh.
which is why it's listed like that.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Audience View is now the owner of University Tickets and they're international.
Yes.
And then their profile is complete, and I don't see anything else besides this last review that this person, Margot, is from the Chancellor's office. So
Okay.
so
So they
it's
seem
on
like
hold.
they're very
Yeah.
detailed on that. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
more likely when we look in here, it's more than likely up to date almost always, or
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Usually they're up to date. Like if it's been a few days and there's nothing going on, then we could put in a ticket to the chancellor's office to tell them like, hey, profile's complete. Why isn't this approved yet? Do we need to do something? And then they usually will let us know within a day.
okay.
So yeah, but usually this gives you pretty detailed information of the most current status. But there is times where we have seen them, been a few days, nothing's going on. We reach out to the supplier. We did what they said to do. So then we'll go in and put a ticket. They said they did what you said. And then usually maybe there's some kind of misunderstanding or miscommunication that we could help clear up. If not, like, yeah, there hasn't really been any other back and forth that take too long besides some kind of misunderstanding. Yeah,
Julie, can you let me share for 2 seconds?
sure.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay, hope that helps.
Okay. Let me. share. I want to share this one. Okay, so I threw a link in the chat. So this is a link to all of our quick reference guides, and we will go over this in session 2. But I just wanted you, so if you click on this supplier search QRG right here, so these are all of our QRGs related to supplier search. These will be very helpful to you guys. If you click on this second one, supplier search, this one, this will help you when you're looking up suppliers and it says all those various statuses that they're in. There's 5 different ones. There's none, invited, in progress, profile complete, and rejected. So this screen will look familiar to you. Like when we were looking them up earlier, these will help define what those various statuses are, and tell you what they mean. So this will be helpful. This is a helpful QRG for you guys because they're like you'll look them up and you'll be like, well, what does in progress mean? What does invited mean? I don't know what that means. What does rejected mean? So this, I would definitely pull up all these QRGs and have them at your ready. So when you're like looking up supplier statuses, this will help you know what those mean. And then I did put our CSU BY email in the chat. So if you guys ever have any questions as you're going through this, please email the CSU BY email. So that's what we were talking about earlier. So Julie and I are on that email thread. And then if we can't get to it first, to you guys first, Horacio, Crystal, Terry are all on that email group too. They can respond as well. But Julian and I do monitor that email pretty good, and we usually get back to you like within the hour and can help you. Okay? Okay. Let's see. Trying to see what else is on the agenda and what we can make through. Were you guys seeing that? Oh, dang it. Was I sharing my screen? You guys have to tell me if I'm not sharing my screen because I'm really bad at that.
We're saying I see the quick reference guide.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay. And that's what QRG is. I didn't know until Bianca started.
Oh yeah, quick reference guide. Sorry, my acronyms.
I'm like, what is a QRG?
I
Oh,
know.
okay.
I know. Okay. What's left on our agenda here? Okay, so we went through supplier request. Okay. I think okay. I think the next session, I don't know, Julie, should we go through goods and services request or should we just wait for the next session? Because we've thrown a lot of information at them. And I don't want to overwhelm them.
Yeah, that we have thrown a lot of information.
I know.
So it's up to, I guess it'd be up to them.
Yeah.
I'm okay either way. If you have like an example that you want us to walk you through for goods and services, we could do that, or we could just do our general one that we have for trainings.
Did you want to do the step where we set our specific university delivery address?
Oh yeah, Julie, do you want to show them how to set a location?
Sure. Okay, sure. Yeah, I don't think we put that in there.
Yeah, we need
before.
to add that.
Okay. I'm going to share my screen. So it's back here at that user profile, the little silhouette of a person, and you click on view my profile, and I believe it's default user settings, default addresses, and here I believe is this where we did the ship to?
Mm-mm. Hold on.
No, this is not it.
In a second. Hold on.
Oh, here it is. Okay, it's the
Yeah.
custom field and accounting code defaults. And it would be this one, deliver to location. And then you would put create value. And I think Debbie had hers as what, Icardo or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have it
so-
as
Mhm.
Icardo Center.
Icardo Center. Just the specific one here on top,
It's
or
52-000.
okay,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
it's this one here on top. And then you would just click on add values, and then it'll come up over here. That should be it. Oh, why didn't it save? Try that again. Oh, it's in here. Oh, because I
There
gotta
you
click
go.
on
Then
this.
default, then save.
Then click the default, then click the save.
Mhm. Mhm.
Now it's showing up. So now when I go look in here, perfect. So this is where you'll have that deliver to location. So you don't have to do it over and over again. Otherwise, you could just do it over and over again. But if you want to make it a default, that's the one thing that you can make a default that won't cause problems unless for some reason you're delivering it somewhere else in the future. But
So that in essence is the same thing as our regular address because we usually put like 8 gym as
Mm.
as the
okay.
campus delivery location, which is there's only one mail stop in Nicardo Center, so it's not like they're gonna miss it.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, because if I do gym, let me see. All these different ones come up. So you could choose one of these if you need to.
Even that, see, that's searching the facility. Like the old gym is the physical education building right next to the Nicardo Center.
Okay, so iCardo is probably best for you then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you could do that with deliver to location. And whatever you do select in the deliver to location has to be in the system. You can't just type in like, room 7 and not pull it from the system, or it's going to prevent the requisition from going to the next workflow step. So, yep. Any other questions about that? Okay, perfect. So did you guys want to do a requisition today, or do you want to wait till next week to start off with a sample requisition that we can walk you through?
I mean, you
Well, I
guys,
get
you guys know the amount of content better than us. Like if we're already through a lot of the content already, then we can shoot
Uh-huh.
session 2. But if there's an abundance of content already for session 2 that this would be adding on to, you know, I don't have a scheduled call.
I almost feel like I almost feel like I don't want to overwhelm you guys, so I feel like based on your availability, I feel like we need to do like another two. I feel like we need to do like 2 more 2-hour sessions.
That's fine.
Because I need to do, let me look at the agenda. I need to do a goods and services form, a IT, hospitality, direct pay, and then go, like, there's still a lot more to cover with you guys.
Yeah, we can do a few more smaller chunks. That's fine.
You know what I mean? Because like if I just don't want to like be like sitting with you guys and then you guys are just like overwhelmed and then you guys are like, because this is what happens. Like we train people and then people get overwhelmed and then they just hate the system and then they're just like, oh my gosh, P2P sucks. You know
Well,
what I mean?
Carolina hasn't said anything. She's actually asleep at her desk.
I am not, thank you.
So it's like I just don't want to be like overwhelming you with so much that you guys are just like, oh my gosh. Like, so I just want to like pace it where it's like, okay, like we're
Small
just kind of
chunks.
chipping away at it. Like, because we already went through a lot, but we haven't even really scratched the surface yet. Honestly.
Yeah, I
Like, we
think
haven't even gotten into requisitions yet.
I'm just lucky that I've done a little bit of a detail walkthrough with Deb one time on this. So a lot of this, a handful of this stuff, I'm semi-familiar with it. Wendy might
Mhm.
be able to say the same. I don't know if
Yeah,
Carolina's.
I
Yeah.
feel the same way. Like there's some of this stuff was familiar. Um, but again, I'm learning. And that's what I was explaining earlier to Bianca and Deb is that I
Mhm.
didn't know the system before. So everything
Yeah,
I'm learning, I don't have anything to compare it to.
but that's good.
Yeah, so I don't have, like, oh, well, we used to do it this way, or it was done this way or that way. So everything I'm learning is actually 100% brand new.
That's
I just wish I
honestly
could figure out.
better.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's definitely a lot to learn. So I think it would be smart to do, the requisition on another time.
Okay, Carolina, how do you feel?
I agree. I did go through some of this stuff with Deb as well, so it was just nice to see it over again to like kind of enforce it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I agree, we could probably do it for the next one, start fresh.
So I do have some time tomorrow and Thursday. It's just Friday, we couldn't do it in the morning. So if you guys have some time tomorrow or you have some time Thursday, we can fit you in. But that's completely up to you guys. Just let us know what you want to do.
I have an appointment at 2 o'clock tomorrow. So if we did anything, it would have to be in the morning.
Okay, the rest of you guys? I'm
Yeah,
not
more.
saying it has to be tomorrow. It could be Thursday too. Just let me know.
I if we're throwing it out there, I would prefer Thursday, just because Deb and I have a lot of stuff still that
Yeah,
we have to get done.
for
And
sure.
so I would like to do like work with her all the way up until my appointment tomorrow. And then on Thursday we can I can go into it if that's okay with everybody else.
I'm wide open on Thursday too.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thursday works.
I'm open. Julie?
yeah, I have a one-on-one, but I can change it if I need to.
I mean, are we thinking
Usually.
like afternoon on Thursday?
Yeah, mid morning or afternoon. I'm usually not in super early. I get in at 10 or 11 generally, stay later. But
So do we want to book like 2 hours in the afternoon and we'll just see what we get through?
Works.
Yeah, that works for me.
We want to do like 2 to 4?
Would it, can we do earlier? I just on the
Yeah,
Okay, just because like I like to work with Deb, I only have
yeah.
8 days left with her, and so 4 to 5 only gives us 1 hour to finish up our stuff for the day. And today 1:30 worked great for me. But if you guys wanted to go earlier, that's fine too. But again, we could do the 2 to 4 if that's what works for everybody else.
I'm open. You tell me what time and I'll make it work. You guys tell me.
yeah, I'm wide open too, Wendy. So anything that caters to you.
Okay, so we can do the 1:30.
Yeah.
Okay,
Does that work for you, Carolina?
Yeah, that works for me.
Okay. So we'll do 1:30 to 3:30 and we'll just see how much we get through.
okay.
And then at the end of that, then we'll schedule the meeting for the following week and we'll just see how much is left. And we'll just schedule the next one and we'll just go from there.
Sounds good to me. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Yeah, no
Hopefully I
problem.
can
That's
get my
what we're
camera
here
figured
for.
out.
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a good
Thank
evening.
you.
You too. Thank you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Julie, can you stay on for a sec? Oh, she left.